Robert King. I'm an attorney handling Camp Lejeune Justice Act claims, and I have some few thoughts to share with you all this afternoon. On Monday morning at 10 a.m., I was in Palm Bay, Florida, meeting with Dawn Green. We had coffee at her kitchen table. Her husband was a Marine, and he did 2 tours in Vietnam. Went to Lejeune twice. He got bladder cancer, and it killed him. I asked her how her family found out about it. And she stood up and she walked over to the refrigerator and she opened the door and said, "Mind if I have a beer?" And she opened the beer and she talked. And she told me that at his son's wedding, the reception, he stood up, her words, and he pissed himself. And he had no extra pants, and he was embarrassed, and he knew something was wrong. And he got treatment for a few years, and he deteriorated until he was scared to leave his house. And then he died. So why does that matter to all of you? Why does the Camp Lejeune Justice Act matter to every one of you, every one of us? The Camp Lejeune Justice Act allows veterans and their family who are at Camp Lejeune who are exposed to toxic water to submit a claim for pain and suffering. Many of you here are not Marines. Many of you who are Marines were not exposed or don't have an illness. So why does that matter? And I think my opinion is it matters because this law stands for the idea that our nation needs to take care of our veterans. In my opinion, this is the strongest piece of legislation in favor of veterans since the GI Bill. Politicians from both parties reduced the burden of proof so that these veterans could make a claim for something that happened on a military base. This has never been done before. The government has estimated $6.8 billion of settlements. But why does this matter to you if you weren't there? Because I think Lejeune could have been Pendleton, or it could have been Jackson, South Carolina, or it could have been Fort Benning, or Fort Sill, or Fort Knox, or Great Lakes, or wherever you started your military career. Don Green could have been you. He could have been the guy sitting next to you. Dawn Green, his wife, could have been your wife. He could have been the wife of a friend that you served with. She could have. These places where you started your career, I think that is where traditions are forged, where values were created, where values continue today. And for 34 years, new Marines went to Camp Lejeune 8 weeks after leaving their home. 17, 18, 19 years old, most of them. They did what they were told. They had no choice whether or not to drink the water. They had no knowledge of what was in the water. They were exposed without warning. This is a tragedy that happened in a place where it should not have happened. I applaud Congress for what they did, for passing a bill that was right and just, for making it big enough and strong enough to make a difference in the lives of veterans and their families. But more than that, I applaud those who made it happen. I applaud this organization. Commander, thank you. Leadership, thank you. Thank you for your leadership, for your execution. Thank you to the lawyers and lobbyists and activists, and even Jon Stewart. The people that brought this together, but most of all, thank you. The members of this organization, you are the strength for political progress. You are the shoulders that truly carried this bill to success. My final thought is this. This, I expect, could be the largest single case in the history of the United States. Perhaps hundreds of thousands of people have cancer or other very serious illnesses related to toxic exposure at Camp Lejeune. The lawyers will come out of the woodwork. There are lawyers who are money-hungry, egotistical leeches, blood-sucking scumbags. They will do anything for a buck. You will meet them. And there are good lawyers. My best friends in the world are lawyers. Lawyers can do good. They can express the pain and suffering of veterans and their families better than the veterans themselves sometimes. They can use their skills and experience to prove the veterans have suffered because of toxic exposure. This case will set the stage for further legislation. It benefits veterans in the future. If lawyers fairly and thoroughly investigate the facts and present them professionally, the nation will know how important this type of law is. As of now, the lawyers who you see on TV and in courtrooms and in advertisements, they will set the stage for future similar legislation that could affect any one of you or all of you. I believe that your mission did not end with the passage of the PACT Act. I have a request of all of you. Hold me to task. Hold every lawyer involved to task. Demand good work, good legal work, honest work. Work that is about the victims of this case. Demand work that tells the whole story of people like Dawn Green, a widow that watched as the love of her life, a big, strong, brave man named Don, withered until he was too scared to leave his home, and then died from toxic water exposure because he chose to serve. I urge you to tell everyone you can how important this law is, how important it is for the Dawn Greens, for the Don Greens, for all of you, and for all of our veterans going forward.
Thank you, Mr.